how we're doing it. We'll probably wear ourselves out. I want to welcome up our next panel, and then we'll take a little break, guys. Now that we've kind of gotten to know a bit more about the culture and what's going on here, we want to talk to some artists. We want to talk about entertainment, and so I'm excited to announce just the names of a couple of our panelists here and get them up on stage. Of course, my co-founder, Sage Alina, she's going to come up. We also have our performers in the house, Rio Cragen, Daniel Allen, so they're going to come up and join us as well on the panel. You guys can come up. It's all good. I don't bite. And Dill, famous Dill. Welcome, boys. Welcome to the panel. And we're going to start with you guys while Sage Alina is doing her thing. Sage Alina is notoriously late. This happened last night, guys. She snuck in there. She slid in, literally. Slid in her costume. And the last 5 minutes of the party. So here she is. Here she is. All right, guys, I'm so excited to talk about entertainment and the future of entertainment. So we're going to break it down today. We're going to talk about this. Rio and Daniel and Sage. Dill's feeling a little left out, unfortunately. But these other three, they performed for us last night, and it was lit. But Dill, don't worry. Don't worry. I have some stuff planned for Dill. We can't be leaving anyone out. All right, guys, so I just want to allow you to introduce yourselves and maybe also just keep it short, but tell us what made you choose to go the NFT route as opposed to attempting to be signed, or did you attempt to be signed? Share a little bit of your story with us.
Hello. Okay, cool. Yeah, this is on. My name's Rio Cragen. I'm an artist, producer, songwriter. I had a very interesting route. I moved to Los Angeles in 2017-ish. Worked for a year making music, sleeping on friends' couches, and actually did sign a major record label deal. I ended up signing with 10K Projects and upstream to Virgin Records. And that's where I put out my first album. It did really well, millions of streams. But I was losing creative control by the time that I released my second project with them, and that was something that was extremely important to me. I realized that I wanted to go back on the independent route, and so I fought pretty hard to have my independence back, and I achieved that and started building back independent again, and that's when I got involved with music NFTs later down the road.
Thank you so much, Rio. Daniel.
I'm Daniel Allen. Hi, everyone. I'm a producer, also living in Los Angeles. Did the whole couch surfing situation. Found myself in and out of the major label system as well. Was kind of put in a position, I think, when I first moved to Los Angeles. I found a system where I was kind of living off of small record deals, and they were paying my rent for a few months at a time and whatnot, but music was my full-time job for a year and a half, but it wasn't necessarily the sexy way that you imagine it. It wasn't that you have a huge record and you're touring the world and whatnot, like Rio. No, I'm kidding. No, I was doing mixing and mastering for other people. I was doing producing for other people, and I was doing my artist project, and it was good, but I kind of felt like a hamster on a hamster wheel. You kind of never really see the end of it, and so I guess for me, my pivot was pretty similar to Rio's. I just kind of wanted to approach it from a place of wanting creative control and making music that I care about, rather than just kind of being in the system. So
I can't clap, guys. My hands are full. You're gonna have to clap for me. All right, Dill.
Yeah, what up, BALI? How's it going? We're having a great time here.
We're surviving.
I'm really happy to be here. It's a truly magical place that I've wanted to come for a long time. And it's amazing to be here for music NFTs. I mean, 2 years ago, I never would have imagined that it could take me to some incredible place like this. And so my name is Dill. I'm a multi-platinum artist. I made a song called Jordan Belfort that blew up on SoundCloud. I've toured, done over 100 shows, worked with major labels. And a big part of my story is really getting chewed up by the industry and working with major labels and getting screwed in the process and really losing ownership of my music and creative control through that. So, you know, it was an incredible opportunity to be able to tour and work with major labels, see that side of the industry. But after a couple years, I realized this is not the path forward. So I started releasing music independently. I've been releasing music independently since about 2016. And then I got a little bit frustrated at some point and just feeling like my music wasn't getting to that next level that I wanted to. And so I got deep into crypto in 2016. I actually stopped making music for a while. And then I realized I'd kind of lost that passion for music because I was doing well with crypto, that was great, but I'd lost that passion that I loved about music. And so in 2018, I had this idea to make an album called Crypto Rich, and I published Crypto Rich in 2019. It was the first album to tell a whole story about crypto through music. So this is the Crypto Rich album cover and NFT.
Where did they get the merch? Where did they go?
Merch is all on itslit.org. I have some merch here kicking around. I got some stickers. But yeah, Crypto Rich is a 19-song album, and it's available as an NFT, and I've been pioneering music NFTs for the last almost 2 years now. So super happy to be here.
Hi, I'm Sagelina. My story's a little different. I was born on Cape Cod. It's the middle of nowhere. Love that island, but it's very, very far from this reality, which is outer space to me. You know, living in the stars, I think, was something that I tried to imagine growing up, and I think that's why I'm here today. But basically, I left overnight when I was 19 years old after a bad breakup, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go chase my dreams and do this thing. How do I do this thing? So I moved to Miami, I went to New York, I went to LA, traveling, discovering myself, and networking, and ultimately on the grind. And I quickly learned that I was unsafe. I was unprotected as not only a woman in the industry trying to pursue a music career, but also as a soul. And that was really tough for me because I just grew up around kind of this non-Hollywood lifestyle. And, you know, I don't know if it was because it was the nature or like this pure essence that I was raised in, but I had a, you know, I was SOULRICH, and that's really how SOULRICH originated. My brother also makes music, so we kind of had our own little world in the basement, and we made music on the Cape, and we would always talk about, you know, how we're SOULRICH, and how we don't gotta sell our soul to the industry, and we would learn about all these different situations with artists. But the hardest thing is basically figuring out how to do that, you know, how to be independent, how not to sell yourself to, you know, a dream, which should be filling your soul, you know, it should be fulfilling your purpose, not taking away from your purpose. So on the journey, I, you know, just spread that message as much as I could, whether it would be, you know, a friend or whether it would be another creative, but basically to, you know, empower yourself and come together in unity, right? So I met Abso later down the road, thank God. She's a woman, which really changed my life. And, you know, she helped me bring SOULRICH to life. And then shortly along the way came little Miss Lauren.
Hey, honey.
And, you know, I was just, I was at this point kind of shocked. You know, I was like, wow, like, how did I get to surround myself around such powerful women after dealing with, you know, kind of that energy in the industry? So it really just got me motivated. This is about, it's been about a year now. We've been building SOULRICH with a Web3 vision, and I'm grateful because I feel like now is truly the time for SOULRICH to rise, and it makes sense why it didn't work out any other time. And so I really think that, you know, SOULRICH is a frequency, it's an energy, but it's only going to come to life by coming together with souls who are rich, who do believe in humanity, who are building for the future, and the next generation, right? So that creators don't feel this way. You know, we don't got this trauma sitting up here, and these couch surfing stories, because I've done it all too. And yeah, so
I hope that SOULRICH really just liberates creatives and thus heals the souls on earth, you know, because that's the beauty and magic of art and entertainment. So thank you guys for being here.
That was beautiful. So obviously with Web3 and NFTs, we have a completely different dynamic with fans than we've ever had before, right? So this is, it's very intimate. People feel like they own a piece of your soul to some extent, right? They're very invested. They want to watch every detail of your come up. So I want to get your guys' individual visions for in an ideal world. Like imagine NFTs being mainstream. You go buy a shirt, comes with an NFT. You know, it's like mainstream. You go to buy your airline ticket, it's an NFT. In an ideal world, right, where NFTs are common, fans are using them to purchase music or to engage with you and your community, what do you envision that looking like? What is your unique vision for your NFT community, say 5, 10, 15 years down the road? And any of you can answer.
Take a stab. Cool. Yeah, I think that in the music industry, there's this underlying thesis that a lot of you guys, maybe may have heard, depending on how familiar you are with the music industry. But it's basically like you need 1,000 true fans to make a living off your art. It's a pretty simple rationale. You have 1,000 true fans that spend $100 on you per year. You make $100,000 per year. You're making a living off your art. Pretty straightforward. Whether that's going to a show, buying merch, whatever it is. I think right now, given like the small dynamic of the ecosystem, what it looks like is you need 1,000 fans and 30 to 50 Web3 super fans. And in an ideal world, you're taking the resources from the Web3 super fans and you're reallocating them towards your Web2 career, and you're hopefully trying to create synergy between the two. I think that's the reason that it looks like that right now is just, like I said, because it's a very small ecosystem. I think what it looks like over like a 5 to 10 year time horizon is if you want to invest $5 into your favorite artist, there's a world where that makes sense. And I think that like the tooling of NFTs is a great way for that to happen, because I think that right now there are the best musicians in the world are like 16-year-old kids who have 400 SoundCloud followers, right? And those kids are busboys, baristas, like we've all been there, right? But I think that the pocket that has always really interested me is like, I'm not necessarily as interested about making like millions of dollars off of music NFTs. I'm trying to find the pocket where someone can make $50,000 to $70,000, $50,000 to $80,000, where they're able to spend a lot more time like making music and in an ideal world putting better art out. And so I think yeah, right now it's the dynamic is like the 30 to 50 true Web3 super fans, and over time it'll be like, if you want to invest into the 400 SoundCloud follower person, you have a way to do that.
Thank you, Daniel.
Yeah, so I totally agree with what Daniel said. I mean, that's what's amazing. This is really going to make it so that a lot more artists can actually earn a living off their work, and that's incredible. And so I want to go to the other end of the spectrum a little bit. I think that music NFTs are going to give us the tool that allows an artist to have $1 billion market cap, right? So this is unprecedented, that you can actually say a music artist has a market cap. There's a way to bet on a music artist now. And I think that as NFTs grow and continue to scale, you're going to see some artists that come out of Web3 that get huge communities, huge market caps, similar to how you have, the Bored Apes going from 0 to like $5 billion market cap in 1 year. So imagine when the music NFT artist comes along that's able to create that same kind of hype, that same kind of community, and get their collection going. And so that's where I see music NFTs heading. And I think that right now, the opportunity is here in Web3. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, is that we already have $1 billion opportunity for a music NFT artist here in Web3. We don't have to onboard every fan who doesn't know about NFTs, because there is liquidity here. There is investors here that are buying NFTs. What we need is for more of the community who have PFPs, one-of-ones, NFT artwork of all kinds to get into music NFTs. Because right now, I see music NFTs as such a small percentage of what people are holding in their wallets. So I really think there's an opportunity right now for a big artist to come in and get this $1 billion market cap within a year. Or it could be an artist here from Web3 who does it on their own, right? But what's important is it needs to be connected to the artist and everything they do. Utility, their brand, shows, merch, exclusive drops, access to the artist, getting the music early. These are just some examples. So imagine if you could do all those things with you know, a Snoop Dogg or a Kanye West, where it was truly like an annual tour that your NFT gets you access to, you know, a whole merch package and exclusive stuff like that. So that's where I see the future of it going. And I think one day we're going to look back at this and say, wow, you know, artists now have market caps. You can now look at an artist like a token or a crypto because so many artists are going to have NFTs.
And you know what? I want to go deeper into that because I think Sage Alina would have some wisdom to share about why there are so few people really collecting one-of-one art. And, you know, I think that we've seen a lot in this industry of like, oh, I'm an artist, support me, buy my NFTs, but we're leaving out the commerce side, right? Which is, okay, but people are coming into NFTs more than likely at this stage to make a buck too, right? So if they're buying your product, what are they getting out of it? And so I would love, Sage Alina, for you to jump in and talk maybe a little bit about business models and how artists have responsibilities to grow themselves and to grow their brand image and what your vision for that is.
For sure. I love how Daniel mentioned, you know, utilizing Web3 to then create a merge with your Web2 fans, which to me is really, really important. And I think sometimes we get into, you know, this space, Web3, and we get a little too tunnel focused on that versus, you know, stay up on Twitter Spaces till 3 a.m. and going to NFT conventions every other week.
She never does that,
right?
by the way. She's never on Twitter Spaces until late at night.
So basically, I feel like, you know, it's more than Web3. It's more than Twitter and your presence on there. I think you have to show up just as if you would in Web2, if not with more responsibility now in Web3. Which means, you know, you're not just showing up to your shows, you're not just dropping music, you're not just doing a live stream here and there, you're like engaged with your community. You really know your community. And it does feel like, you know, at the end of the day, you can't get away from giving a little bit of your soul as an artist, but it is what it is. You know, I think that's like the exchange, you know, as being a creative, you do have a responsibility to heal, right? With, you know, people really connect to your art. And so to understand that dynamic should motivate you to go hard. So, you know, I try to implement a model for myself where I'm active on all social media platforms, where, you know, I'm not too quick to drop. I really want to like build out a story. I want to study what's working and what's not. I'm really into content, which I feel like the space hasn't perfected yet. We're still working on it. Daniel and Rio is dropping crazy content recently. Congrats to you guys, because I really like seeing us level up, you know, and go the extra mile. And the content creation is incredible in Web 2, and I just think that we need to start really implementing that in Web 3, which is actually a big reason why we came to Bali and we're doing this event, and we have, you know, amazing cinematographers, is to create some of the best content the space has ever seen. And it's not too hard, you know. I think it takes us coming together with the vibes and showing that, you know, we're just as lit on spaces as we are in real life. And we're gonna go on tour, and we're doing festivals, and we're gonna bring everybody in, not just through PFPs, not just through the internet, but on a soul connection. So thank you.
Yes, fire. This is only the beginning, guys. Bali NFT Week, like, we're doing a world tour. Like, we want to be doing this every couple months. We want to go to a crazy destination. Like, I don't know about you guys. I want to travel for my work. So I love that. Thank you guys so much. I want to just wrap this up with one more question. Rio. Yeah, you want to jump in?
No, yeah, keep going.
It's all good. It's all good. I have this last question for you guys. And that's, we're talking about, like, okay, being mistreated by the industry, right? And we're talking about this revolution, right, of independent artists and how technology helps that. But is there a way where you see that there is any sort of collaboration with record labels? Is there a way that we can bring them and invite them into Web3, right, and use resources from both parties? Or is this just a situation where it's like, nope, screw it, we're starting completely over? What do you guys see for that? And with your bad experiences in the industry, are you willing to, maybe come up with solutions or just start your own thing?
Yeah, I think I think that there's a major possibility for the two worlds to collide. I think it all boils down to good intention, and creating with a, solid purpose. The intersection of that, I don't know what it looks like. I think there's not going to be a framework or a blueprint to how that works. I think it'll be on case-by-case basis. And as long, like I said, good intention, I think there's only good things that can come out of that if we can figure it out.
Yeah, I think that major labels, I think the big point of major labels in theory is for distribution, because distribution is very gated. I think that the typical record label deal, for those of you that don't know, is typically an 80-20 split in favor of the label. And I think for artists who are utilizing Web3, you definitely want the distribution, because if you're a musician, there's a really high chance you want a lot of people to hear your music. I think that there are a lot of people who there are people who want to sit in a corner of the world and kind of have that to themselves and have their niche, but I think that for the most part, artists do want to be heard. And I think that there's a world where, in my opinion, where it becomes more of an a la carte service, and I think that the deals become a little bit more fair and open and transparent. I think that if you're not needing the capital up front, because you're doing like Web3 drops, maybe there's a world where you are only using like the a la carte distribution service, but maybe you retain like 80% of your masters, or just have a license against them, or whatever it is. So I think that there's a world where it definitely works together, but it'll probably take a big moment for that to happen.
So I think a lot of labels and people don't really understand what we're doing here in Web3. So what I try to do is explain through my music what's going on here.
Oh, what?
I was only 15 sitting in my house bored. I went online to the Silk Road store. I bought some Bitcoin, got it as a sophomore. If I didn't need lunch money, I probably would have bought more. Fast forward to the future, made a meal on my computer. Grab some ETH, don't buy a loser. Don't snooze, don't be a snoozer. Goddamn, I'll get rich, got big plans. Hey kids, don't take Xans. Type my lyrics, no pens. Big numbers on 10. I got Bitcoin rich and I'm feeling myself. Big chain, blockchain, got me dripping, oh hell. My cologne is Versace, she like the way I smell. Hold on to the end, won't on my bag, I won't sell. That's my song, Bitcoin.
Yo! Right there, he was like, I'm going to get this performance in. It's gonna happen. Guys, we listened to Dill's entire record in the party van. The other van was the lame loser van. Our van was the party van. So thank you, Dill. That was awesome. Sage?
That was dope, Dill. I was like, yo, let me know when it's happening. So I agree with Daniel. I think Web3 is going to inspire labels to be a little more creative, to be more pro-artists. I don't think it's going to be something overnight. I think it's going to take close relationships that work with labels that are in Web3 that can vouch, right? It's going to take literally us affecting their souls, which is going to be hard, but it's possible. It's possible. So, having those SOULRICH conversations with these labels and really showing like, at the end of the day, you're going to miss out if you don't change your system, right? These artists are going to take over. So I do think they're not gonna be with that. They're gonna find a way, and whether that is customizing your own label, right? Like Daniel was saying, artists might not need advances in Web3, right? They may need content creation, they may need touring, they may need distribution, they may need marketing, right? They may need something very specific in regards to their brand. So I think labels are going to start, applying that to artists individually versus that standard 80-20 deal. It's going to be more personal. And I hope that's what happens, and I know that's what SOULRICH is working on as we speak. So.
Yeah, we're doing a panel after lunch. Lunch is pretty late now. It's more like snack time. But we're doing a panel later called Self-Interest and Social Impact. And I think that the best way to win for both is to truly allow self-interest to play a role And I think that when we start including mental health in that discussion and providing incentives for bigger companies and corporations to care about mental health, that's when we'll see everything change. And so that's what we're really passionate about at SOULRICH. That's our message with this entire event, is we want humanity back in technology. We want to start talking about what kind of incentives can we provide record labels? What kind of incentives can we provide, like retail and clothing stores? We're going to talk about all that stuff after the break. I'm going to let you guys breathe. We're going to go upstairs, get some snacks, relax for a minute. If you haven't checked out the gallery, please do. We have art from so many incredible NFT artists in here, so definitely do that or wander about. But we're just going to breathe for a minute, and we will resume back here with our next panel after the break. All right.
Let's go. Buy some music NFTs.
Darling, Something in the shape of my relief when I see you, noticing you're missing. Low water waves in. Don't live with this old map. We found our way back. Whoa, to the back, sure, circle our way back. Water level rising. Water level rising. Water waves in crashing against my attempts to run away from the deep. Water level rising, take me back to your place. Take me back inside. Take me back to your place. Can I stay the night? Take me back to your place. Take me back inside. Take me back to your place. Can I stay the night? Take me back to your place. Take me back inside. Take me back to your place. Can I stay the night? Take me back to your place. Take me back inside. Take me back to your place. Can I stay the night?
Emma Cote in the beautiful white long dress, ignoring me. It's fine. I don't take it personal. Would you please choose from among the committee women? I want you and one member of the committee to report to me at the top. Announcement, everybody. In 10 minutes, we are starting our VIP VC funding workshop. If you have a project that you are trying to get venture capital money for, you may qualify to sit in on this workshop up here in the VIP room. If you are not part of that workshop and have not talked to me prior, then hang tight with us and we will start our next panels after lunch, which will be at 3:15. At 3:15, we start up our panels again.
block my number like you always do. I feel you here in the shadows of my mind. it's killing me that my love for you is blind. I see the signs. I see the signs. I see the signs. I see the signs. Bite on your lip, I'm into it. Let me touch on your hips, I'm into it. All the other girls wanna be like her. Oh, I'm into it. Yeah, I'm into it.
Blockchain, I'm blocking them on my iPhone. Got rich from flipping it all on my own. Too bad the homie just wouldn't listen. Turns out I'm talented and I'm gifted. Surprised she like me because I'm handsome. Fake smile, she doing it for the camera. Good times and memories, they were random. Cut ties with bitches, I cannot stand them. Sit down, don't operate with your eyes closed. Wake up, I'm giving you vibration. Break up, giving the temptation. I don't want you around me, oh shameless. Surprise, I'm hitting them with my good side. Deep ties and memories, they were good times.
Hey guys, this is an announcement that the VC funding workshop is starting in the VIP area. So if you have talked to me about joining in on this workshop, please head up to the glass doors on the second level. We will be starting pretty much immediately. Thank you.
straight with my vision. I'm way too ill for your niches. I'm going big, crypto rich. It's true to myself and I'm different. Platinum hits that I've written. I got your bitch in my living room. In that mansions I'm living. In that pussy I'm resting. I bird her with no arrest. I'm putting her to the test. And I make her pushy the best. You go on 10, I'm 11. I don't need sevens in heaven. I like me beautiful women. And there's some guy like the rebels. Blockchain, I'm blocking them on my iPhone. Got rich from flipping it all on my own. Too bad the homie just wouldn't listen. Turns out I'm talented and I'm gifted. Surprised she like me because I'm handsome. Fake smile, she doing it for the camera. Good times and memories, they were random. Cut ties with bitches, I cannot stand them. Two-tone, Rolex, heavy on my wrist. Don't mess with my money or you'll get my partner pissed. You don't wanna meet his pistol, messing with the kid. I need a McLaren cause the crypto made me rich. I don't stutter, wow, talk to me nice. Don't get shocked when you see me like Ben Frank with a kite. I told my buddy I done seen some shit that isn't right. It's our anniversary, I'm slaying her tonight. Flash drive, couple milli on a stick. Wow, won't get caught, no encryption, cause I got crypto rich. I read the scripture white paper, then add it to my list. I can send it across the border, you don't need to take a trip. Oh wow, you don't need to take a trip. People used to doubt me, now they see I'm looking sick. Oh wow, I make some hits I never missed. Flash drive, wow, couple milli on a stick. People used to doubt me, now they see I'm getting paid. A message that you sent me, that's some shit I never say. Yeah, she make my day like every day. I'm headed. She make my day like every day. I'm headed to the top and ain't nobody in my way. That's a flash drive, hot boy, tall boy, now drink up. Faster to the money, so I think I need a Lambo. Haters wanna beef, I'm in Philly going ham though. Smoking like a chief, but I'm ripped like Rambo. Big dick, baby you should come and play my banjo. Misfit, nowadays I'm lit like Limp. Misfit, don't text me girl, don't act like I'm an asshole. Girl you do not know me, but I bet you know my reps. Flash drive, couple million.
I want you by my side, so that I never feel alone again. They've always been so kind, but now they brought you away from me. I hope they didn't get your mind. Your heart is too strong anyway. We need to fetch back the time they have stolen from us. And I want you, we can bring it on the floor. We've never danced like this before. We don't talk about it, dancing on, do the boogie all night long. Stoned in paradise, shouldn't talk about it. And I want you, we can bring it on the floor. We've never danced like this before. We don't talk about it, dancing on, do the boogie all night long. Stoned in paradise, shouldn't talk about it, shouldn't talk about it. Coldest winter for me, the sun is shining anymore. The only thing I feel is pain, caused by absence of you. Suspense controlling my mind. I cannot find a way out of here. I want you by my side, so that I'll never feel alone again. And I want you, we can bring it on about it. Dancing on, do the boogie all night long. Stoned in paradise. Shouldn't talk about it. Shouldn't talk about it.
I've been waiting too long and it shouldn't take a week. Put on your favorite dress, I see you got dancing feet. Party on a Sunday, drugs just a sleeper. Living for the moment, put it all on your visa. Mona Lisa, Bonet, Patron in the OJ. Drink till you KO, any are you okay? Good taste in music, many fresh and Coldplay. First you like to work out, no Xannies or no cocaine. When Steve was chasing Laura, baby, all I want is you. When Brock was chasing Nurse Joy, all I want is you. When Thea wanted Justine, all I want is you. When Helga wanted Arnold, baby, all I want is you. But they don't listen. They can't make you feel the same way that I do. They can't love you all the same way that I do. When the time is right, then you should make a move. Hope it ain't taboo. Hope it ain't taboo. Put you apart right now. I need your heart right now. I feel the sparks right now. I need it all right now. We should just start right now. Look. Cause I'm on the cloud right now. Let's paint the town right now. Buy what you like, we don't browse right now. Run away and spend some time in the sky right now. I wish that I can get some time off. Steak and portobello with the wine sauce. Say goodbye to social sites and sign off. But communicate more when our lines cross. When Will was chasing Nia Long, all I want is you. When Will was chasing Tyra Banks, all I want is you. When Robert wanted Whitney, baby, all I want is you. When Screech wanted Lisa Turtle, all I want was you. But they don't listen. Can't make you feel the same way that I do. They can't love you all the same way that I do. When the time is right, then you should make a move. Hope it ain't taboo. Hope it ain't taboo. Put you apart right now. I need your heart right now. I feel the sparks right now. I need it all right now. We should just start right now.
not jealous, I'm not frightened. Climb up to your lips with a swiftness in a murmur, somewhere private. Suddenly my heart knows its weakness inside. Half smile touch, casually call you love. When your hand is enough, casually say it's love. 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 I'm a wild girl in the wild and the fire. Got away from one place to another. Loving is enough with the kiss, with the kiss. Gather me from one place to another. I'm not jealous, I'm not frightened. How could we separate now in the silence? Little by little I'm sinking right in. It's not a secret, my heart's weakness inside. Half smile touch, casually call you love. When your hand is enough, casually say it's love. 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 I'm a wild girl in the wild and the fire. Got me from one place to another. Loving is enough with the kiss, with the kiss. Got me from one place to another. I'm a wild girl in the wild and the fire. Got me from one place to another. Loving is enough with the kiss, with the kiss. Got me from one place to another. I'm a wild girl.
I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. You come around, yeah. You ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. Worry about those comments, I'm way too numb, yeah. It's way too dumb, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time. I need the Heimlich, throw that to the side, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. When you're not around, when you throw that to the side, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. 713 through the 281, yeah, I'm riding. Why they on me? Why they on me? I'm flying, sipping low key. I'm sipping low key at Onyx, find a rider. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. You come around, yeah. You ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. Worry about those comments, I'm way too numb, yeah. It's way too dumb, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time. I need the Heimlich, throw that to the side, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. When you're not around, when you throw that to the side, yeah. When I'm pulling up right beside you, pop star Lil Mariah. When I text kick game wireless, throw a stack on the Bible. Never Snapchat or took Molly. She fall through plenty, her and all her guineas. Yeah, we at the top floor, right there off Duini. Yeah, oh no, I can't fuck with y'all. Yeah, when I'm with my squad, I cannot do no wrong. Yeah, saucepan in the city, don't get misinformed. Yeah, they gon' pull up on you. Yeah, we gon' do some things you can't relate. Yeah, cause we from a place you cannot stay. or you can't go, or I don't know, or back the fuck up off. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. You come around, yeah. You ease my mind, you make everything feel fine. Worry about those times, I'm way too numb, yeah. It's way too dumb, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time. I need the Heimlich, throw that to the side, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time, yeah. When you're not around, when you throw that to the side, yeah. I get those goosebumps every time.
I've been staring at a road, too scared to follow up. Even as the sunset descends on me, I stay unmoved to change the view of where it leads. I've been staring at a road. 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 Feel the weight of what I need. Come crash for forcing me. I see the stars that light the sky, and I wonder where I fit in the light. Into love. Into love. I've been staring at a road. 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 I feel weak behind the night. Cries I hear echo inside. Even as the sunrise ascends on me, I stay unmoved to change the view of where this leads. Of where this leads. I've been staring at a road. I keep getting closer. I only know I keep getting closer. I've been staring at a road. I keep getting closer. I only know I keep getting closer. I've been staring at a road. I keep getting closer. I only know I keep getting closer. I've been staring at a road. I keep getting closer. I only know I keep getting closer. It's getting harder here to breathe. It's getting harder here to breathe. 'Cause we be smoking on that. It's getting harder here to breathe. It's getting harder here to breathe. 'Cause we be smoking on that. It's getting harder here to breathe.
Oh, there she goes, Mrs. Summer, breaking hearts again. While I wait for her number, she pays for mine again. I hope we never end. Take my time living and pretend till I play my role. She'll be running on and on again. Every night I recall this same love on and on again. Although my dreams are all she's made of on and on again. Like a truce to be made, there's two sides to the pain. Pray I choose right anyway. Yeah. Why to chase love? Why am I tears in the face of death? No need for a chaser. Hoping the moment don't fade till I'm high again. Focus on my key faith and we'll fly again. Love, at least I can when you're right here. I know the feeling might change when the night ends, unless the world stops for you. Ooh, but oh, there she goes, Mrs. Summer, breaking hearts again. While I wait for her number, she pays for mine again. I hope we never end. Take my time living and pretend till I play my role. She'll be running on and on again. Ooh, on and on again.
I spent the whole day in my head. Do a little spring cleaning. I'm always too busy dreaming. Well, maybe I should wake up instead. A lot of things I regret, but I just say I forget. Why can't it just be easy? Why does everybody need me to stay? Oh, I hate the feeling when you're high but you're underneath the ceiling. Got the cards in my hand, I hate dealing. Yeah. Get everything I need and I'm gone, but it ain't stealing. Can I get a break? I wish that I could just get out my goddamn way. What is there to say? There ain't a better time than today. Maybe I'll lay down for a little, instead of always trying to figure everything out. And all I do is say sorry. Half the time I don't even know what I'm saying it about. Good news, good news, good news, that's all they wanna hear. No, they don't like it when I'm down, but when I'm flying, oh, it make them so uncomfortable, so different. What's the difference when it ain't that bad? It could always be worse. I'm running out of gas, hardly anything left. Hope I make it home from work. I'm so tired of being so tired. Well, I gotta build something beautiful just to go set it on fire. No lie, but sometimes the truth don't sound like the truth. Maybe cause it ain't. I just love the way it sound when I say it. Yeah, that's what I do. If you know me, it ain't anything new. Wake up to the moon. Haven't seen the sun in a while, but I heard that the sky's still blue. Yeah, I heard they don't talk about me too much no more. And that's a problem with a closed door. Good news, good news, good news, that's all they wanna hear. No, they don't like it when I'm down. But when I'm flying, no, it make them so uncomfortable. So different, what's the difference? There's a whole lot more for me waiting on the other side. I'm always wondering if it feel like summer. I know maybe I'm too late. I could make it there some other time. I'll finally discover that there's a whole lot more for me waiting. That there's a whole lot more for me waiting. I know maybe I'm too late. I could make it there some other time. Then I finally discover that it ain't that bad. Ain't so bad. Well, it ain't that bad. At least don't gotta be no more. No more, no more, no more, no more. No more, no more, no more, no more. Yeah.
You ain't never think about nobody but yourself. Selfish, but I really can't wait until you're gonna need my help. Helpless, you ain't never think about nobody but yourself. Selfish, but I really can't wait until you're gonna need my help. Helpless.
You must be the only child because you're so stingy. I just wanna go buck wild when you don't defend me. I've been on the fucking prowl. I've been counting minties. You didn't turn my heart so cold. I should work it freely. Darling, darling, I've been praying for you, for you. I've been praying for you. I've been praying, I've been praying for you. Darling, darling, I've been calling on God for you. No, for you. It's not your fault. It's how you were raised. Excuses, excuses, really all that you say. Better to play. You can't seem to share. Every other day you forget how to care about me. About me. What about me? About me. Forget me. What about me? Used to be like BB. You must be the only child because you're so stingy. I just wanna go buck wild when you don't defend me. I've been on the fucking prowl. I've been counting minties. You didn't turn my heart so cold. I should work it freely. Darling, darling, I've been praying for you, for you. for you. You ain't never think about nobody but yourself. Selfish, but I really can't wait until you're gonna need my help. Helpless, you ain't never think about nobody but yourself. Selfish, but I really can't wait until you're gonna need my help. Helpless. Every move you make, man, I swear it seems suspicious. Lying through your teeth so I don't rush to give you kisses. Spiteful and malicious, hope that other chick got syphilis. Sick of this, hard to stomach now that nigga shitting bricks. Hypocrite, punch you in your lip, oh shit you slippin' sis. Used to arch my back for you and now I'm your arch nemesis. All that you be feminist, Donald Trump pros immigrants. I don't want to work it out, so cancel our dream membership. I'ma lead this nigga, don't believe me nigga. I was make believing nigga, it was only one season nigga. M.O.D. my nigga, money over dick, money over dick. You should stop breathing, nigga. You must be the only child because you're so stingy. I just wanna go buck wild when you don't defend me. I've been on the fucking prowl. I've been counting minties. You didn't turn my heart so cold. I should work it freely. Darling, darling, I've been praying for you, for you. I've been praying for you. I've been praying for you. I've been praying for you. Darling, darling, I've been calling on God for you. No, sorry.
I got a rush in my head right now. I've been feeling with my friends around. We're just running from a lonely town. Oh. This new girl's face gave me a lot of faith. It's true, if you could hear my doubts, it got a soul to say. Wonder if my heart gave out, 'cause I can't live without. Wasted nights falling against it. You can take me high. I'm happy with all of my friends. Slowly burning like cigarettes. One more time, remind me just how it used to feel alive. We're sleeping and stay up all night and talk about dying. Head of my heart and 10 of my toes. Fall in love, let her watch me burn. I call my bluff and I'm losing her now. All I really want is wasted nights falling against it. You could take me high. I'm happy with all of my friends. We're slowly burning like cigarettes. One more time, remind me just how it used to feel alive. We're sleeping and stay up all night and talk about dying. I played my parts, heartbreak, got good intentions, drowning out loud bass and your attention. All I need, all I need. Wasted nights falling against it. You can take me high. I'm happy with all of my friends. Slowly burning like cigarettes.
To go to
start to wonder why I came. I dreamed of things you said to me. We stand at your place while it rains. We talk and we laugh and watch TV. And I couldn't find the words, I couldn't think of what to say. And all that I can do is stop and think about the days when all we used to dream about was meeting at the school. When we would go on home and start right back again. I think I like when it rains. Call up some friends, we'll have some fun. Oh Lord, I wish things were the same nowadays. We'll go back to your place when we're done. And I got nothing else to blame. I wish the world would come to me. We stand at your place while it rains. We party while your mom's asleep. And I couldn't find the words, I couldn't think of what to say. And all that I can do is stop and think about the days when all we used to dream about was meeting at the school. And we would go on home and start right back again. Kick it, Will. And I couldn't find the words, I couldn't think of what to say. And all that I can do is stop and think about the days when all we used to dream about was meeting at the school. And we would go on home and start right back again. We would go on home and start back again.
Just talking my shit. I'm bored with this medicine. Thinking about the naked women in my bed. I'm bored with this medicine. Walking around, just talking my shit. Conversation based around just sex. Words at the tip of my tongue. Oh, yeah, baby. I'm bored with this medicine. Tell me one thing I must forget. Thinking about the naked women in my bed. Lost at the tip of my mind. I'm bored with this medicine. Walking around, just talking my shit. Conversation based around just sex. Words at the tip of my tongue. Oh, yeah, baby.
see. I have seen your face. See your face lately. Kiss me in my dreams. Why don't you kiss me? Tell me I'm awake. I'm awake, baby. Paradise awaits. Yeah, it's waiting.
Baby, you wanna love me. Baby, you wanna touch me. Baby, you wanna kiss me. It's alright. Baby, you wanna love me. Baby, you wanna touch me. Baby, you wanna kiss me. It's alright.
I'm born with this medicine. Walking around just talking my shit. I'm born with this medicine. Thinking about the naked women in my bed.
Oh, damn, baby.
I'm born with this medicine. Walking around just talking my shit. Conversation based around just sex. Words at the tip of my tongue. Oh, damn, baby. I'm born with this medicine. Tell me one thing I must forget. Thinking about the naked women in my bed. Lost at the tip of my mind.
Baby, you wanna love me. Baby, you wanna love me.
I need to be your lover. I need to be your king. I need to be your lover. Everything in between. I need to be your lover. You need to be my queen. Kiss me in my dreams and tell me paradise is what we see. I have seen your face. See your face lately. Kiss me in my dreams. Why don't you kiss me? Tell me I'm awake. I'm awake, baby. Paradise awaits. Yeah, it's waiting.
Baby, you wanna love me. Baby, you wanna love me.
In this smoking chaos, our shoulder blades kissed. I found you. I found you. I found you. I found you beautiful. I found you exploding. I found you. I found you. I found you. I found you beautiful. I found you exploding. I found you. Beautiful, exploding. I found you. Beautiful, exploding. I found you.
Your head shakes out your heart. You're pulling yourself apart. With sweat bleeding down, I found you. Hey, I found you. Look at the calm across your face. Look at the state you got this place. I was outside my mind, but found. I want you to see me, Fred. I'm here.
You. Beautiful, exploding. I found you. I found you. And I still remember. Beautiful. found you beautiful. I found you exploding. I found you.
In the mood to talk to you. Always alone inside my room. Stay at my phone. Nothing to do. No mental. It's living. I'm fine, so please don't ask me why. I like to go outside. I'm addicted to this life. I'm addicted to this life. I'm addicted to this life. I'm never satisfied, so please don't come by. This is residue. You'll never see my point of view. No, baby, don't. It's been I'm fine, so please don't ask me why.
They don't like me like before. Could be the whiskey or the drinking, but I don't listen anymore. Or maybe we'll go out for breakfast. We'll talk about it in our sleep. Oh, won't you tell me how your day is? Oh, won't you tell me how you feel? And I'll do better to talk about anything that you want now. But I should tell you, I love the sound of myself when I'm talking, of myself when I'm talking, of myself when I'm talking. I got a friend way back in London. I try to visit when I can. It's like I'm always doing something whenever I'm in town. Well, maybe I should bring her flowers, or maybe I'll pick up a pen, and then I'll write her up a letter. Then I'll send it when I can. And I'll do better to talk about anything that you want now. But I should tell you, for myself when I'm talking, for myself when I'm talking. For myself when I'm talking.
myself when I'm cold.
Feel it in my soul. I lose my self-control. Why? Whenever I see you, I feel it in my soul. I
Check.
lose my self-control. Why? Whenever I see you.
I see you, Absol.
Feel it in my soul. I lose my self-control. Why? Whenever I see you, I feel it in my soul. I lose my self-control. Why? Whenever I see you, why?
like, oh my, running through my damn mind. Goddamn girl, you gon' be my whole life.
Line there.
I got happy, 'cause I got sober. When you left me, it was just bad. Happy, sober, angry, sad. I got happy, 'cause I got sober. When you left me, it was just bad. I got happy, and you got angry.
Hello? Oh, whoa.
'Cause I got sober.
Yeah.
Mic check. Mic check.
Hello? Hello?
Mic check. Mic check.
Check. All right, guys, we're going to have all of you get back into your seats. Thank you so much. All right, we're so excited for our next topic about mental health, abundance, creativity. Guys, look, we took it easy on you, okay? We took it easy on you in the first half. Lots of facts, lots of knowledge to share. But in the second half, we really want to get into the soul discussions. We want to break down what's really important. So I'm going to call up our panelists. This session is called Creating from Abundance. All right, and we're going to talk about how we should be creating from a place of happiness and joy and overflow as opposed to pain. So I'm going to ask all of my lovely people to take their seats before I bring up my panelists. I'll give you guys a second. All right. Okay, good. I'm going to go ahead and call up my friends Joseph Abel, Ali, Dr. M, and my lovely co-founder, Absol. And for this half of the conference, I have an amazing co-moderator. So I'm very excited. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, everybody. Let me stand up here. I use a stick. That means I'm old? Or I just want you guys to feel bad for me? All right. A day ago, I'm just here. Yeah, true, or both of them. A day ago, I was just here to drive my wife around because my wife is, where's my wife? Where's my wife? She's right there. That's my wife. So she asked me to come join this thing. And I said, why? Because I bought my first Bitcoin in 2013 at $300. I thought this would fit. Apparently not. It doesn't fit. So why am I here? Because she told me to. I'm afraid of my wife, or I respect my wife. But the reason I'm here is because I want to see these people who turned my cousin from an anxiety freak, stressed out in his rotten life right there. And it's named Sage and Apso, I heard. You guys changed his life. So the only reason my butt is here,
we love Reggie.
Because I want to see who are these people that changed Reggie's life. So thank you. Because when he's stressed out, my ass gets stressed out too. All right? So I'm the co-moderator of this mental health thing. Because in Bali, I live in Bali, man. It's all about just balance, you know. Or lots of parties, either way. Either way, it's about balance. Lauren, it's all yours.
I'm trying to be balanced. Whew. I'm trying to be balanced. I'm still awake. That's a win for me. Guys, I'm so thrilled to have each and every one of you here. I know you guys deeply at this point. Dr. M, it's such a blessing. You're in almost every single one of our Twitter spaces. Dr. M pulls up with so much wisdom. We talk about neuroscience. We talk about consciousness. And I can tell you, you scare the degens away. And I like it. Because at SOULRICH, we're really trying to attract a crowd of people that care about things that are deeper than just material gain. Like, yeah, the money is great and the money will come, but we want people who really share the mission in the heart. And so, Dr. M, I love it. I love just how you elevate every conversation. And Dr. M has a special topic that he'll be presenting to us on limiting beliefs and breaking those. So we'll be turning things over to you, Dr. M, after this panel. But first, I just want to get into this. I want to talk about creating from a place of abundance. I want to talk about some of the problems right now in entertainment and art, and how Web3 can kind of address those, right? So this is just the first kickoff of BALI NFT Week. We're actually extending it because next week we have a creative workshop that's all about emphasizing the mental health of artists, creatives. We're taking them on hikes, all this free time charity work, like really to get people in a place of, okay, you know, I have time. I'm not a product anymore. I'm a person. And so that was the vision of ABSO. So I want to turn things over to ABSO first, and I would love to hear more about why you've chosen to emphasize mental health in SOULRICH with artists, and kind of what you're envisioning for the creative workshop that's coming out next week.
All right, so I actually started as an artist when I was 12. I was an artist, you know, and I did music for a very long time. And I know a lot of people in the music industry. And I seen just the way things, you know, the panel that we had before on all these artists, and they come in and they all this trauma that they have. And I just wanted to change that narrative and come from a place where people feel safe. That's just what I'm trying to do here. Like, like I said, I started off as an artist, and it's just like I wanted to come in the business side and try to create experiences for artists so that they don't have to experience the things that I experienced myself and the people around me. I have a lot of people around me that dealt with a lot of things. So as far as the creative workshop, you know, like I said, I want to create experiences that change that and focus on the mental health. Because not a lot of mental health awareness is in the music industry. We do know that there's a lot of mental health issues, right, within artists and suffer in silence. And I just feel like there's not enough people out there that are giving back into artists the way artists give back into the music industry. They come in with so much passion, you know, like when these artists come up here and they talk about this passion, and they kind of lose that when they put so much into something and don't receive that same love back. So here at SOULRICH, you know, we wanna really put everything that we do, every experience that we put together is really pro artists. We focus on the artists. We don't want to treat artists as a product. We want to focus on their mental health. Too many artists, you know, kind of suffer in silence. And I really want to change that. I really just want to do better for the artists because, I mean, music, what is music without the creatives, right? Yeah, the business is cool, but the creatives is what makes the music and the entertainment. So that's just my goal in just trying to create and change the narrative of labels and the way that artists are treated in the music industry and entertainment.
Yeah, and I've seen firsthand your heart for looking at people as people, not products, right? And so that's why we've brought some of these other wonderful people on the panel, because they're not necessarily musicians, although maybe some of you guys are in private, but they're experts when it comes to wellness and health and staying balanced. And so that's why we have Dr. M with us, Joseph, Ali. So I would love to get you guys involved in this to kind of talk a little bit more about creating when it's your lifestyle, right? Because I feel like when you're a creative and you have to produce content, like it's your lifestyle, it's your job, your income depends on how good your art is. That can create a lot of pressure on artists, regardless of what that art is, right? So I guess my next question, anyone can answer this. Joseph, this might be a great one for you, is, you know, how can we keep people enjoying what they're producing when their entire livelihood is kind of on the line? Like, what are some ways that we can avoid that type of burnout and keep that love of the art?
Yeah, no, it's a really important question. I feel like there's always this paradox of creativity where you're sitting at your desk and you're like, I need to be more creative, I need to make more stuff. But you're stuck there and your wheels are spinning, like you can't create it. The more you try to be creative, the less creative you actually are. And the solution for that has always been really simply, leave your room. Like, go outside. Every single moment has newness to it. And when you're stuck in the same spot, when you're looking at your screen just trying to change something, like nothing's really going to make a big difference. But when you leave and go out and you do something different, when you embark on a mission or a side quest for yourself, when you exercise, when you just like decide, you know what, like to hell with it, I'm going to go to a completely different city tonight, that actually sparks the creativity so much more than just trying to be creative. You know, you'll never be more creative by just trying to think that way. The other thing that's really been helpful for me, and I know like people always mention this, but you have to kill your perfectionism. But more than that, you have to replace it with consistency. The inconsistent, perfect creations of your content where people are like, oh, well, I'll just post once a week, but I'll make sure it's really good each time. That always loses to the imperfect, hyper-consistent person, you know? You never know what content's gonna be good until you post it anyways. Like, weirdly enough, I've spent like 2 to 3 days on a video before, and then it did like, a small number of views. One of my best videos ever was posted a bottle and a half wine deep at 2 o'clock in the morning. I woke up and then like within a day it was at 16 million views. Like the best content you ever make is not going to be something you usually expect because you're reaching out to a massive global audience and trying to connect with them. Don't worry about making your content perfect, just make it consistent. Even if it's bad, just put it out anyways, post it, get your volume up. And that practice of just training yourself to be super consistent is going to make you enjoy the art, and it's really going to release the chokehold that you can have on your own perfectionism. Like those two ideas are really, I think, what has helped me the most.
Hey, Joe said this is awesome. Sorry, can I? Yeah, that requires a clap. Come on, that requires a. Look, as of this morning, I don't know you guys, but you had a cool story, man. I mean, you went to law school, right?
I'm entering my last year, yeah.
You're in your last year in law school.
That's right.
You freaking cook, brother. You cook some healthy
I like
crap right now. So, but the question I have is this, right? In law school, there's a lot of pressure, right? Creating content the way you create content, that's a lot of pressure. I mean, I've seen pictures of you and your dogs from the top. That's some work, bro. That's some work. So the question is this, though. At this point, I like the fact that consistency has to win. I agree with that, you know. And I'm sorry to sound old, but your generation, when it comes to consistency, is kind of lacking. If I'm wrong, kick me out. I'm
totally
not.
Right.
I'm not. So the fact that someone, your generation says about consistency, you're being last year in law school, you're doing all your content, you got a freaking six-pack. When I was your age, I had a six-pack, I was a keg now, honey. Sorry, baby. You know. But my question is this: how can you, as where you are right now, can talk to a lot of people and says that it is okay to not have the kind of income that you'll make as a big social media person? It's okay, right? It's okay to fail at that and be healthy about failing. You know what I mean? What do you think? I want to hear your thought.
So is your question specifically about like reaching forward and doing something that's different, like reaching forward into content creation and the risk and failure of that contrasted
Because
with
not everyone is at USC Law School have a six-pack and cook vegan stuff, bro.
Well, so it's funny. I have a job offer right now with one of the best law firms in the world. I'm on a full ride to USC. I have a stipend. Like I have like the most golden road into law school ever, and the chances that I'm actually going to practice law, even with an incredibly comfortable salary that could set me up with an amazing home, the wife and the kids and a bunch of dogs, like I could do that whole life. But I would so much rather live at my edge, you know? I would so much rather radically liberate myself from working for other people and also live at the edge of society's invention. Like one of the things that's been so almost, I can already experience the nostalgia of it, is that someday I'm going to look back and tell my kids, yeah, I helped pioneer the wave of content creators on TikTok and Instagram. Like I was part of the 1849 gold rush that is the 21st century's content creation on social media. Like what an amazing story. Contrast that with, yeah, I wrote a bunch of briefs for my partner Overlord. Like what a weaker story. Like
Overlord, you call him partner. I love that. Overlord, partner, yeah. Overlord. I got you.
And it's like, well, one of the things too is I always believe that I'm going to make it. Like and the social media thing, it's so funny. Like my friend Sebastian over here, it was literally 1 year ago that I bumped into this guy in my building who happened to move into my apartment on the basis of seeing a TikTok I made, weirdly enough, who's friends with Sebastian. And at the end of his lease, he was like, we became friends and everything. He's like, I would love to go to the desert with you and a bunch of my homies. I was like, hell yes, I would love to do that. And the first person I meet on this trip is Sebastian, who is the first person I'd met outside of my law school bubble since I moved to LA for law school. I didn't know anybody else. And the only person I'd met yet who was like, you could do content creation full time. Like, you know that. And I was like, no, hell no. Like, I already have a job offer. Like, I'm going to be set. And he's like, no. Like, you could totally do this. And he was the first person that invested in me and told me, like, you can absolutely make a career out of this, despite the risk. And I had so many friends, dads, who were like, no, stay on the corporate path. Like, this is safer for you. And I'm like, TikTok's a fad. LOL. I was concerned about it, but it's like believing in myself every day. I now have like over 1 million followers across platforms, and like the amount of money that I've made from individual deals is like unbelievable to me. I've been able to support myself just fine, and everything has worked. You know what I mean? So it's like, at the end of the day, you have to contrast. I think there are certain people that really enjoy a life where they're told what to do. Like, you go down the law path. People are like, you write the brief, you listen to the partner, you put in 60 hours a week, and that's your life. And it's safe. You're like virtually certain to be just fine. But I don't want to be just fine. Like, I want to be radically free, you know? And I want to live a life that has a very meaningful and unique impact on the world, something that content creation allows me to do. You know?
So, are you going to finish law school?
I am. A lot of people have been like, you should drop out. But I'm like, hey, it's free, first off. And I also think
sorry. That's it. I got it. So it's free. Why would not? Why would not?
It's also a great legitimizer, too.
Of course.
Brands don't screw with me because they know that I know contracts. So I'll send back a red line. I'm like, this clause isn't even enforceable in California. Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, so there's a good synergy to it, you know?
Sure, I got it. Sorry, I'm going to jump to Dr. M. Dr. M.
Yes, sir.
Now, I think we all can learn from this guy. Because he's an actual doctor. I mean, Dr. M is not a title in his Twitter account. He's actually an actual doctor. Decided to somehow, some way, correct me if I'm wrong, you're leaving all this because you're trying to discover, not leaving, you're reducing your time as a doctor, not being told what to do thing, to find out how AI can impact humanity. Am I right?
Yeah.
That's the craziest shit I've ever heard, and I'm telling you, it's so freaking impressive. For me, I think we can learn a lot from you. So share with us.
Thank you. Very kind words. So, success, I feel like, is one of those things that is not defined right in society. To me, success is when you do what you love. Should that change every 2 years, you're going to be happier swinging and jumping from branch to branch every 2 years. To me, that is a fulfilled life. Fulfillment comes from doing something that comes from your heart, that you're passionate about. That could change. Should it change 100 times? Change with it 100 times. I'm leaving medicine because I feel like I had all the right reasons for going into it. I would not do it, differently. Were I to do it, get to do it over. So your path is what it is. Chances are, unless if you do it over, you kind of need to walk the same path. Ultimately, to me, happiness is not as advertised out there. So they tell you, you got to go have job security and income. And lots of people are doing that, right? Lots of people are going for, the law, the corporate law, or whatever the job is, the specialization that they're forced into or that they're boxed into. Many times, it happens in medical school a lot, actually. Even before graduating medical school, many of my classmates, they regretted doing medicine even before graduating medical school, but they stick with it because they think because of my loans or because of this and that, all these justifications of why you should continue doing something that you're not passionate about anymore. So I really think that it's a better life to be poor all life long and to always pivot to whatever engages you and brings out your passion rather than... Yeah. And I mean, I have been relatively, I feel like I have been fulfilled, but I've never been materially comfortable. But that's because of jumping from branch to branch to branch. But I can see that I'm happier doing that and never making it in the sense that's defined out there in society. Because it's not the size of your house or the location of your house or the particulars of the hunk of metal that you sit in to go from A to B that makes the difference. It's everything else.
Thank you, Dr. M. The one thing, if you remember anything from this discussion, be aware that at the end of the day, Everybody think NFT is going to change the world. How many people think NFT is going to change the world? Raise their hand.
Change the world?
Yeah, change the world, right? Change. It's changing. You realize that $3 billion of value of NFT is gone just 1 month alone. And it's going to keep going. Remember, your entire world, NFT world, the entire space of NFT happens after March 13, 2020, which when Bitcoin was $3,000. You have never been, as an entire industry, ever been in a situation where Bitcoin is dropping like a mother. November 21st of last year is the highest Bitcoin ever. From that point, it's been dropping. When Bitcoin sneezes, everybody else get bloody. Everybody else got bloody from all over the freaking place. So I need to understand, as an old man sitting here, that you guys really, really want what you want to do in life. And that is the most impressive part of your generation, in my opinion. Because understand, the road ahead ain't easy. This last guy over here, people follow him because he knows what he wants. And he he teaches people how to really be passionate about everything in life. I just met him 2 days ago. You want to go? It's all you.
Thank you. Hi, guys. I wouldn't say I teach people because I facilitate, because, I mean, they know themselves, they know their potential. Hi. My purpose, basically, my life purpose is enabling people to discover their life purpose. So that's what I've been doing, going on 12 years now. So I facilitate people across countries, across ages, across cultures, and that's what I have been doing. That's what I'm going to continue to do, hopefully till the day I die. Amen to that. And I want to touch base a little bit from what you were saying earlier, what you guys are all saying earlier. When you say about rich, and then being broke and then being rich, again, about broke and rich for me, because oftentimes we see it from the perspectives of financial rich, right? But like when you're like, the other aspects sometimes we forgot, Financially, maybe we're not as wealthy as, as we want, but at the same time, if mentally we're, feeling a lot better, that is a kind of rich that a lot of people forgot.
So rich.
Exactly. There we go. There we go.
That's
there
a good.
So rich.
That's a good.
There we go. That's soul, right?
That's
Exactly.
good. I like that.
So, and oftentimes we forgot about this, including myself, to be honest with you guys, including myself. So, I think that's also why this kind of community is also very important to connect with the right people, with the right energy, because we all need each other. And a friend of mine taught me a very interesting thing. You need to audit your circle. Not just audit your finance, but you need to audit your circle. Like, who are there? Are your circles, the people in your circles, are they like good for you? Like good for your health, good for your mental health, good for what your purpose is, So like to be consciously and deliberately audit your circle, because those
turn
close,
left. Turn left.
yeah.
Turn. Talk this way.
This way?
Right there.
Oh, right there. No, I should be talking to the mirror actually. So yeah, for me it's that other elements of rich sometimes we forgot. So and along that journey there's success. You said success and failures. Another thing that I want to share that it's been taught to me that I'm still trying to maintain as well to remember is that to differentiate between a failing at a particular event and failing as a person is completely two different things. Because like it or not, ready or not, we will go through some failures, right? But at the same time, like sometimes when we go through some failure, sometimes we think we failed as a person. It's just, no, it's a failure and this is me. So it's learning to detach that really, really helps me. And again, with that circle that also reminded me when things like that happen. So I'm going to stop right now because I'm involved in this event. I know the time is short. I'm going to stop right now. But if you guys have anything to follow up, I'll I'll gladly
No,
share.
I love this so much, and I actually wish that we had more time to spend on this discussion, because this is the heart and soul of SOULRICH, is the fact that we have different values here. Like, we care about the person first, and everything else is secondary. And I can share with you guys that, you know, my background, I liken a lot of this Web3 stuff to the early fad of e-commerce, like back in 2016, 2017. I mean, I got hella rich at 22 off e-commerce, and I can tell you I was never more miserable in my life than when I had, you know, millions of dollars in the bank. And so coming back full circle and now going into Web3 and bringing whatever expertise I have from digital marketing, et cetera, here, I do not want to make the same mistakes, right? I do not want to sacrifice my personal, emotional well-being for money, and to feel like I'm in a rat race, and to feel like I'm always competing with the next guru. And that is so not what I want. And that's why I've found a home in SOULRICH, is because the values are not about money. And so I wish we could sit here all day. I freaking love this discussion. Each of you have so much wisdom, and I wish that we could just, we need hours about this. And we're going to be spending hours at the artistic workshop that we're having next week, the creative retreat. But I want to go ahead and welcome Dr. M to share with us. He's going to be talking about ancient wisdom, ancient limiting beliefs that we have to break, how we can do those things. And so I want to invite our other panelists to go ahead and take a seat, and we'll give the floor to Dr. M. Thank you all so much. You all deserve more time.
All right, how's everybody? I'm gonna sit down here. So I've been running a lot of Twitter spaces. I have a boarding pass here with some like words jotted down. You know, hours and hours of Twitter spaces. I don't know how many of you guys have been in a Twitter space? Yes, okay. So those are discussions, and what I like to do is to talk about very basic human virtues and values, right? Save Web3. We need to save humanity in many ways, right? So I hop in a Twitter space, and we started discussion on topics having to do with very basic things that we've been struggling with for thousands of years. And this is the topic of this. There's a lady in white somewhere that's going to stand up, because oftentimes you run a Twitter space, you plan for it to be an hour, but then it's like 6 hours. So please stand up at the 15 minutes, because this could be a long time. What are the topics? We need unity, right? Oneness of the human race. Obviously, as a person who's lived in many different countries, the East and the West, and in between, throughout life, when you get to befriend and sit down and have a sincere conversation from a person of drastically what you thought was different from you background-wise, very soon or later, you realize that everybody is people. And that really, we do really belong to the same human family. You can see some of our biggest problems, climate-wise and otherwise, require unity. So I want to remind you guys that some of the most positive, transformative changes we've ever had, everywhere actually in society, have always come from grassroots. So in the US, in the past 200-300 years, you have the abolishment of slavery, you have women getting the right to vote, you have the civil rights movement. None of these ever came from the powers that be. They all started from the grassroots. So really, it's unreasonable to expect for the government or the powers that be to fix those most dire issues that we have. And where is Web3 coming from? That's coming from you guys. So I come from a family from Iran where for advocating for women's rights, my sister was in prison for a while, and so was my dad, not myself. I find in the US, you know, when I was in Iran, I thought that, oh, we don't have those issues in the US, that we have gender equality and equality of opportunity. that's not gender or sex dependent. So I find that it's not true. So what we do in our societies is we try to fix the system, right? We try to create a law that doesn't change people. When you think about the most influential folks, people or prophets in the past thousands of years, they didn't create that change by intellect. It's not reason that does it. It's kindness and it's your heart. So really, you don't need to quit your job and become an activist, but you can have conversations in your daily life with everybody that you speak to that will propel us forward. And this is why I love SOULRICH. I want to thank Sage, because I hopped in a Twitter space one time, and I heard you speak, and there was no shield. You were yourself, and you bring that every time. You are just heart and soul, and that impacts hearts. And from that very first few seconds, what I felt was needless of any information exchange. I didn't need to know who you are. I didn't even hear your music until much, much later. But that dropping of that shield and being yourself and being vulnerable and just talking to people, being real with them, I mean, that's where the change comes from. We got problems, right? So that we don't have equality of opportunity between men and women, and I just say men and women to simplify it, otherwise all gender and all sex equality of opportunity, right? This is not something that's like 100 years old or 200 years old. It's tens of thousands of years old. So I just feel like maybe it's time that the men recognize that women would be fine if it weren't for men, in many ways, So, no, really. So I just want to say that what the men of the world have to recognize is that we don't have to give up anything. For example, for women to be in positions of power and authority, right? I think about the US Congress. I think about the budget. I think about all the wars that the US has engaged in. Every single decision I can think of would have gone so much better if half the Congress were women. Now, I would actually go farther and say that if all of the Congress were women, it would be so much better. Okay? So I'm all for equality, but the scale is tipped so much to the wrong side that maybe it's okay to have some ultra-strong feminists. So what does this have to do with Web3? Well, what I'm trying to say is that our problems are the same problems we've always had. Web3 is a tool. The internet connected us so much. You can use it for good, or you can use it destructively. So we can't just expect a new system, because to me, Web3 is the biggest force in the world towards equity and equality, right? This is ownership decentralized, power decentralized, governance, and all of this and that, right? But it's in the end, it's a system. So you cannot expect to have social impact without impacting people. And it's not a secret how you do that. You have to be your heart, you have to open up, and you have to have just conversations that are real, and that'll do it. You have to be vulnerable, and you have to kind of like shed the mask time and time again, and to just be yourself. So I've been transformed in the past few months because of Twitter Spaces. Just from talking to people and coming across this stream that is the hearts and the souls, such as your spaces. It's really been transformative, and I think that really at some level every person has a responsibility to tackle these deep issues. When you see injustice, and you can see it in many ways, big and small, inappropriate comment, putting down of someone because of whatever reason, you have to speak against that, and you have to do it kindly, and you have to do it with your heart, and that's how you make a change. When I think back, and this is not religious, regardless of what your religious beliefs are, I think if you look at it scientifically, everyone would agree that the person of Christ has created massive transformation in the world. He didn't do it by reasoning with people, by convincing them of something, just loving kindness. So I think it goes a long way. So what else do we have here? Yes, maybe we covered it all. Yeah, that's really all I have to say. I think that you guys are all the creatives that are really bringing about massive transformation, but to kind of look beyond. If you're a music artist, your end-all, be-all goal might be beloved around the world for the music that you make. But at some level, when you rise above yourself and you try to do something for more than just you, that's actually when you experience the deepest joy that is possible to experience. I used to think that characters like Mother Teresa or like Gandhi and that kind of whoever your favorite hero is, I used to think that they're miserable because of wanting to do service to humanity. But that's actually not true. When we grow as human beings, we recognize that actually the best experience in life is when you get out of your way, you put yourself aside, and you do something for other people, like these guys have done for me. So that's actually what you want, but you can't know it until you try it. So no secrets here. I've talked with many of you guys, just like deep conversations here. So I really don't think that I have anything to tell you that would teach you anything I learned from you. But I just want to remind you, it's very simple, and it comes down to having conversations beyond what happened at a game and beyond what the price of whatever token is. And that's it. That's it. Thank you.
I can't begin to express how healing his words are as a woman on an all-female founded project. It moved us to tears. Me and Sage were both getting emotional hearing your words, and it means so much. I do think that women face a unique set of challenges in Web3. We have experienced them constantly, and so to have friends and to have men who step up in a masculine energy. We talk about this in our spaces all the time. We really believe in co-creation. We don't think that men are better than women or women are better than men. We believe in co-creation, and you have been such a stable part of our community and really stepped up to have our back. So thank you, Dr. M. All right, so I have an incredible panel coming up next, you guys. So I'm going to announce who these people are because they are fabulous. This is the panel I was mentioning earlier about self-interest and social impact, really how we incentivize social impact in the world more than just like asking for charity, right? Like, yeah, in Web 2, you want to donate your money, great. In Web 3, we have the opportunity to really incentivize and really drive social impact in a completely different way. So I'm going to invite Sukhvir from Earth Wallet to come up on the panel with me. Melissa Rowley, who looks stunning, by the way. It's like a fashion show. I did not come prepared. And I'm also going to invite Matthew Cook to come on up. So thank you, three, for sitting down with me to talk about this issue, because I feel like, charity, if you will, in Web3 is a very interesting topic, because when you have a group of people that are out to make money and out to change their lives, you're also seeing a ton of projects that are giving back. And so how these two things work together is really interesting to me, and how we can incentivize people to get involved to make a difference is something that is a particular passion of mine. So I just want to start off by each of you kind of introducing yourselves and what you do for social impact. And then I would love to hear more about your stories. So we'll just go down the line. Melissa, we'll start with you.
Hey, everybody. How are you doing? That was kind of pathetic. How are you doing?
You.
Okay.
Everybody wake up.
It's that time of the day. It's that time of the day. So thank you, Lauren. My name is Melissa. I am the founder and CEO of a Web3 studio and production company called Warrior Love Productions. We build projects and protocols and do storytelling at the intersection of Web3 and social impact and climate action and women's empowerment. And we originally started more on the marketing content strategy side of things. We were working primarily in Web 2, right around January of this year, I said to someone on my team, I said, I think we should get more into Web3. I went into 1 or 2 Twitter spaces and the floodgates opened and we became a Web3 studio. And so one of the things we're working on right now, we just launched a Film 3 incubator. We're providing grants for filmmakers to create their short films that are reimagining the future. We just selected our top 5 winners, giving them $10,000 grants, and we're providing them with Web3 education, taking them through the process of minting 2 NFTs, and they'll be premiering their films in Decentraland in January, and hopefully at an event at Sundance. And then in addition to that, we're doing an NFT collection called Her Voice. It's over there, and it's back there. There's a moving image and a still image. It's a poetry and dance and animated shorts NFT, which is really hard to explain. But this is in partnership with a nonprofit called care.org. They operate in over 100 countries, addressing areas of impact, including the climate crisis, financial inclusion, women's entrepreneurship, hunger, and their focus is putting women and girls at the center of these solutions, because they know that when women are in leadership positions, more kids go to school, more people are fed, and the world is just more balanced. So I have other stuff too, but I'll stop there.
Thank you so much, Melissa. That's incredible. And we have people that are doing very big things in this room. If you guys haven't really made an intentional effort to network with each other, please do, because that is just amazing what you've done with these grants. So that's great. Thank you, Matthew.
Hi guys, how you doing? Thanks for having me. Thank you, Lauren. So my name's Matt Cook. I am the founder of a company called BALI Rainwater. We make rainwater beverages here in Bali. I haven't always been in the Web3 space, so sustainability is very important to me. And this came from a life experience that made me arrive at Bali about 8 years ago. I was living in China, from California originally, but grew up in Hong Kong, and then went into China. I was working there for a while in the manufacturing space for about 8 years, and my father was living in Bali. He got sick with Parkinson's disease, and I was visiting him twice a year. And I finally made the decision to move to Bali full-time 8 years ago, and it was the single most important thing I ever did in my life. Kind of had a chance to regroup and kind of determine what was important in life, and I think a lot of what the last panel was talking about really resonates with me. And you know, from that experience, we lost my father here in Bali about 5 years ago, but I gained everything from that. I mean, I wouldn't be here today talking to you all about Web3 and impact if it wasn't for me going through that process and then tapping into what's important, right? And we don't have time. We don't have the time we think we have. I was always living in the future. When I have enough money, I'll come to Bali, spend more time with the family, all that good stuff. So fast forward, Dad died, started a rainwater business, and got really into sustainability, permaculture, all that good stuff. Through all of that, during COVID, started to go deep into Web3 and learn all about how it can impact the world and kind of what everybody's doing. Kind of stayed away from the crypto trading, got more into the technology and fundraising. We naturally had a network of venture capital and kind of interesting projects, so started to learn through that and trying to put deals together. We have a company called Catapult. It's a strategic consulting firm that puts strategic partnerships together. So we're actually about to start our own fund soon. But really what we're talking about here today is all of this led me to the Mural Fest. My passion for sustainability and health and longevity, and kind of living in the moment and having an impact. So I met these beautiful humans, my co-founders, Pablo over there. JP's not here, he's got the sniffles. He wanted to keep you guys all healthy. But what the Mural Fest does, and it's a production of the BALI Collective. The BALI Collective is a company that was formed that has an expression called the Mural Fest. And the Mural Fest is a series of events that are happening in real life that bring the community together around traditional art and NFTs. Okay, so we pair artists with NFTs, we pair artists with yayasans, which are NGOs. So we work with about 17 different NGOs on the island, the highest impact NGOs, solving problems from hunger, poverty, to sustainability issues, animal welfare, you name it, and we're always onboarding new NGOs. Okay, so that's one aspect of what we do. Then we work with the artists, and we kind of marry them for causes that each other want to work together on. And then through physical art being digitized, so physical art, live art, that people can come in real life and see, and also artists can have an opportunity to understand how their art can be digitized and minted on the blockchain. And then we build collections out of this art. And then these become what we call impact NFTs. We're also looking at doing film, so we can talk about that. But yeah, we have now 5,000 NFTs or more minted on OpenSea on Polygon right now. You can go on MuralFest 2022, check it out. You can see the artist paired with the NGO. And prices range from $15 all the way up to $100, very accessible. What we're all about is bringing access to impact, okay? It's not all about high net worth individuals or super mega rich companies that are expected to give back because they're so rich. It's about integrating impact in everyday life for everybody, right? So by buying our impact NFTs, you're contributing to a cause, the artists, but also you're unlocking value for yourself. You're owning an asset that has perks and all kinds of other things that will unlock as the journey goes on. So yeah, that's what the BALI Collective is doing and what MuralFest is doing. So we have an event at the end of the month in Uluwatu. If you guys are still around, come and check us out. Otherwise, the journey continues after the G20 online in the Web3 space.
I may never go home. And I was warned. Hey, if you come here, you may never want to go. So I love that. And that's beautiful. Souk and SOULRICH have also been working on some impact NFTs with our artistic retreat happening next week, doing sampling sounds and having our musicians come in and create art that gives back to the planet. So I think that we are all so aligned on this panel about how we can be using things for good. And Souk, I would love for you to, of course, talk about Earth Wallet and also our co-creation on what we're doing next week. Guys, Souk is a sponsor of this event. A little disclaimer. No, but that's not why he's on this panel. Like, Souk has been so foundational to co-creating the actual experience of this event. Everything about this event has been different than the typical NFT experience. It's wild. Like, it's not partners throwing money. It's partners saying, here are the skills I can bring, and here's what I can contribute. And I have to say that, Souk, you have over-delivered in every single way. Thank you so much for what you have done for this event. We appreciate you so much. So let's talk a little bit about how did your focus transition? Because you have a very impressive background just in the crypto world. But then I feel like your perspective kind of shifted into being more about impact and you had this turning point. And so I would love for you to share some of that story with us.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you for organizing this. It was really our team kind of doing all this. I didn't do anything. But yeah, so a year ago I started a company called Earth Wallet. And the mission was very simple. It was how do we use crypto and Web3 to help solve climate change. It's obviously the biggest problem that we're going to face. And it's really daunting as an individual. Like, how many people think about climate change or, want to help solve climate change here? But do you know how to? Like, does anyone here know how to solve climate change? Or, like, what you can individually do to contribute to solving climate change? It's, like, very difficult. And so what we're trying to do with Earth Wallet is make it very simple to basically contribute. You don't have to change anything. The narrative that, you're bad for contributing to your plastic recycling, it's very difficult to know how to contribute. So yeah, basically we're trying to create the incentives that can essentially create new governance systems for it. How I got into it, I guess I've been in crypto for quite a while. I've built new protocols around security tokens. I was involved in basically inventing the STO, or the security token industry, back in like 2018 when it was all utility tokens. And so when you're kind of at a forefront in industries, you have to just invent and create new stuff. And the only way to do that is to like go, out into the ocean and see what comes out of it. When I heard you were doing Bali NFT Week, it was kind of the right space to explore that stuff, where you can explore like your mind, body, and soul in different ways than you can in the West, in America, where it's kind of a little bit more defined in the path that we're taking there. And I think if we're going to try to solve climate change, it really has to be an integration of new systems. And it's like the systemic thinking around how do we integrate technology, art, and governance as well is what we're trying to do.
That's so crazy, because when I think about how crypto can have the biggest impact, like one of the questions I was thinking about asking you guys is, what is the biggest problem, like societal problem, that you think crypto can solve? But I think the question is even bigger than that, because we can solve individual problems all day long, right? We can plug the holes in the ship all day long. At a certain point, you just need a new craft, right? And you need new systems fundamentally. And so I'm interested in talking about those systems. I'm interested in hearing more about how you think self-interest plays a role in changing some of the systems of giving more opportunity to people who have traditionally been excluded. Melissa, I'm sure you have thoughts on this, and I would love to hear.
Yeah, I want to make sure I'm understanding the question correctly. When you say self-interest, so my own personal self-interest, things that I'm passionate about, or just like my own
I guess
ego?
incentivizing,
Yeah.
incentivizing people monetarily to get involved with projects that give back.
Yeah, well, I think charitable contributions are one aspect of how we can drive social impact through Web3 technologies, not just through Web3, but for many different funding mechanisms. But there's definitely an opportunity because of the infrastructural opportunities and the scalability and the acceleration and the efficiency that Web3 technologies enable across industries. There's an opportunity to impress upon people to rethink the way we're collectively creating and allocating value. So Earth Wallet and what you're doing, I mean, I consider that part of the refi movement. I've been talking about it a little bit. I talked about it with Anna the other day. Is anybody familiar with that term, refi? So it's a play on DeFi. But it's really regenerative finance, and it's a movement, kind of a grassroots movement happening in the decentralized ecosystem where blockchain entrepreneurs are harnessing Web3 to scale climate action. So it's growing really steadily, and a lot of them are building startups around building carbon markets and addressing carbon credits, because that's the easiest way for the technology to integrate, because it's all digital. But there's so many different natural assets in the world that are now being tokenized. There's biodiversity credits, there's plastic credits, which are not natural, but there's ways to tokenize these things. And if the more we do that, and the more that people can see that they can actually get some kind of return while they're doing good at the same time, the more we start to reprogram the way people think of value in this world and the way we're placing it.
That is exactly what I was wondering, because I feel like right now it's very much almost programmed. I think the word programming is critical, because I think we have been programmed that charity is like a tax write-off, or charity is what you do when you go to church, you give some money, but it isn't integrated into our everyday lives.
I have another thing to add too. I think that sometimes when people hear social impact, they think charity, they think nonprofit. And we're working with a nonprofit, but we are not a nonprofit, my company. I very much love capitalism. I just don't always agree with the way it's executed or the way that people navigate it. And again, this goes back to what are we doing with our lives? Like, what is the purpose and intention behind this? But you think about the power of blockchain, and we're still, I think, in many ways scratching the surface. As a journalist, I've been writing about blockchain since 2014, way before NFTs were being discussed and DAOs were even a big thing. And in 2018, I went to the Zatari refugee camp, which is on the border of Syria and Jordan. It's the largest refugee camp in the world. It's the size of Burning Man. It's 80,000 people. And it runs on blockchain. There are two different grocery stores there. One of them is a Safeway, and one of them is called Tagweeds, and the grocery store runs on blockchain. What happened was the World Food Program it was costing them too much money to be able to allow a refugee family to go in there, buy groceries, and have those transactions have a third-party bank involved. So they found a Jordanian company to create a biometric system connected to blockchain, so that the person who's at the cash out, their digital identity comes up, transactions made immediately. So that's not the obvious like social impact case study, but it is a social impact case study because it is addressing the refugee crisis and helping cut costs in a huge global crisis. So there's ways just with the power of the technology itself that we can be driving impact that go far beyond nonprofit thinking.
Yeah, exactly. And bringing in the skill sets from this wide range of different industries into Web3. Our next panel is going to be talking about mainstream adoption, right? And talking about, okay, what does that look like? What do we have to do to get there? We're really stuck in this like scammy hype cycle situation, guys. We got to fix it. Like, this isn't good. We got to fix it. We got to stop the rug pulls. We got to call people higher. We got to start coming up with systems of accountability so that we can have the freedom to be able to create solutions like that. And I think that that's incredible. Matt, I wanted to talk to you a little bit as a fellow events person. I love Web3 because we're able to have more efficiency when it comes to finding social solutions, right? But then there's also this element of anonymity, right, with Web3 that I sometimes think keeps us from experiencing the humanity in each other. Whenever I see the Twitter drama or, the DGen freaking whatever it is this week, it's funny because a lot of these people would never leave their mom's basement to say that to somebody else, right, in person. But because there is this layer of anonymity, we sometimes lose that human connection. So I was wondering if you could speak to maybe some of your experiences with your events, but how that in real life kind of experience within the Web3, how that has shaped you and what your vision for that is.
Sure. Yeah. So it's been great to be able to host these in real life experiences and bringing the Web3 community together because there is an element of connection that takes you out of, especially coming out of the pandemic, right? Everybody's been kind of doing their little lockup thing, and the more digital that we remain, the less connection we have. So I think that we consider ourselves definitely a bridge between the physical and the digital world, and so that's a thing that I think we pride ourselves in being able to do because the co-founders are quite different in the communities that they attract and the type of people that gravitate towards them. So we all kind of bring different people to the mix, and it's been great to see the connections, the relationships, the partnerships that come out of these in real life experiences. But I want to also touch on what you mentioned about the tech and where we're going and what we're planning on doing as far. We also have a foundation, and it would be an impact fund that works with all of the other charities that we work with. So, and that's going to be decentralized, and that's going to become a DAO, so that we can then use the power of the decentralized identity, right, and then have these non-transferable and soul-bound type of tokens, so people can build their social credit, right? If they're an impact NFT owner, then they should be being able to build their social credit because they're contributing to good causes, and that should be something that nobody can take away from them, and they can keep building, right? And then also, as far as the NGOs go, we want to be able to measure the impact, and that's something that's a very challenging thing to do because all the different models and types of impact and holding people accountable and where the money's going. So that's something that we're also dedicated to really diving into deeply, and we have advisors and partners to help us do that. But also building the impact credit on their side as well, so that they're able to accumulate this with their decentralized identity, this merit, right? And having them have their own committees and multi-sig wallets to be able to control all of that, right? But the in real life kind of magic is something that is very important at this stage, especially I think, to be able to bring the new adoption in and get people to understand in a different way what blockchain is. Because I think one thing that we're very passionate about is steering away from associating NFTs and blockchain with crypto all the time, okay? Because we have artists that are beautiful painters, and they are able to access the power of the blockchain without ever having to think about crypto, because we're also working with our tech partners, and there's many other people doing this where you can buy NFTs using credit cards and GoPay and all of this. So it's removing some of the friction so that you don't have to be a crypto OG or a trader or even an investor to buy NFTs, and you can get acquainted with owning an asset like that, a digital asset, and then maybe you buy crypto later. And so you can come in both directions depending on what makes sense for you. But I think that's important for people to harness the understanding and the power of the NFT and its potential for so many use cases and so many utilities without having to just go buy crypto or even have a wallet. So that's something that we're working on.
I love anything that removes barriers for people to get involved, right? Because it's very intimidating. If you don't know anything about this industry, it's intimidating. So I respect each of you for what you're doing for social impact, for onboarding. Thank you all. I'm going to go ahead and turn things over to Melissa for the next 5 minutes because we are on a time crunch. But she's going to share with us a little bit more about what she's working on, her social impact efforts. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to leave you, Melissa, and turn things over to you for a little while. Thank you, guys.
I wasn't sure what you wanted me to talk about. If you wanted me to talk about her voice NFT or anything, or
yes,
kind of
we would love that.
stuff.
We would love that. Yes, she has her NFTs on display here, so
Yeah.
you guys definitely
Sorry,
should check them out.
This is the first time I tried on this dress this morning.
Looking good.
Thanks. So thank you, everybody. I mentioned the Her Voice NFT collection when we started the panel, and it's not launched yet. We were scheduled originally to launch on International Day of the Girl, which is October 11th, but that's probably going to be delayed because we are waiting to get a celebrity ambassador to read a poem I wrote to my unborn daughter. I'm not preggers. I'm not pregnant, but we came up with the idea for the poem that I mentioned to celebrate the gift of womanhood and to celebrate girls being celebrated as leaders in communities around the world. So this poem was choreographed by two really talented, after I wrote the poem, we hired two different choreographers to create a dance number to it. And then we hired an AI generative artist that goes by the name Aya to create animated shorts. So it'll be a series of kind of like an audiovisual poem. We're building a Web3 philanthropy protocol with CARE in partnership on this. And then we're also doing some onboarding sessions for women activists around the world that we're starting later this month. I wish I could tell you when we're launching, but I don't want to make those promises. I wish I could also tell you about the utility, but until we get some legal things signed, I won't say anything too specific, other than I already said that CARE operates in over 100 countries, and they do things like build schools in developing countries, and so I can tell you I'm hoping to have that be part of the project. I have a POAP on my phone to get people to join the Discord if you'd like to do that, and I can tell you more about that. Is there anything else you want me to get into?
Melissa, that's awesome.
Okay.
Also, as a fellow poet, I love that you are bringing this into NFTs.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you.
It's incredible. We started doing poetry slams on Twitter Spaces because no poets are creating art with NFTs right now.
Yeah.
So we wanted to try and find the poets. So it's actually become one of our biggest spaces on Sunday nights is now poetry slams. So.
Also, I just wanted to offer to be of service of anybody here. I know a lot of you are artists and creators, so one of the things that we do at my company, Warrior Love Productions, is we provide storytelling strategy. So if any of you would like some tips and just want to sit down or talk sometime over Zoom in the future about your bios or the narrative of your company and your positioning and messaging, I'm happy to just sit down with you an hour and sort through some things with you. Okay.
Thank you so much, Melissa. Thank you. See Melissa for her POAP. I didn't even know what a POAP was. All right, guys, we have one last panel remaining, and this is going to be a juicy panel. Robotico, where are you going, Robotico AI? Come back here. He's escaping me. I want to talk about mainstream adoption because I think that this is incredibly important. It's the thing that hinges on, basically everything hinges on mainstream adoption. So I'm excited to get my panelists up here. Robotico left the building, so I don't know, but Melissa Kirken is going to be coming up to the stage. So is Salola and Noe, if Noe ever made it through traffic. So, yes, Noe, you made it. Welcome to the stage. Melissa, welcome. Awesome. Hey, guys. Robotico. Solola was one of my first friends in Web3, and she really leveled me up because this woman is such a badass. She's a trader, she's a developer, and I came into this space and my automatic assumption was that every single woman in Web3 was as badass as her. And so I really felt like I had to level it up. But I love you, I'm so excited that you're here. Robotico snuck out. Oh, I see why he snuck out. The man is fully doxxed, people. None of us know who this is. Unless you were at our party last night where he was breaking down the moves.
What's up?
What's up, Robotico? All right, guys, I'm really excited for this conversation because we're talking about mainstream adoption. And crypto right now has a lot of problems. NFTs have a lot of problems. And this is funny because I think I was actually just talking to Solola about this, how Web3 right now is kind of seen, as you said, as kind of the place where people who failed at Web 2 come to start over. And they're not to be trusted. And honestly, we've kind of been living up to that reputation, right? Like most projects fail. Most projects rug in NFTs right now. People have lost a lot of money. A lot of money has been drained out of the ecosystem because of things that aren't ethical, right? So we are kind of in this culture of, you know, this unfortunate situation where we have to grow out of kind of this early adoption phase into creating the trust, right, to become mainstream. And we can't really bring NFTs mainstream until we have that level of trust. So I wanted to pose this to you guys first, this question. How can we change that narrative of Web3 being that place where people go to start over, right? Or where all the scammers live? How do we change that? And if you can briefly introduce yourself. Robotico, you don't have to show your face, so don't worry. But if you can introduce yourself with a line or two,
Okay.
and we'll go
All
down
right,
the
can you
line.
guys hear me? All right, so I'm Robotico AI. I've been in the IT industry for about 20 years, and I've been in crypto since about 2012 when I sold all my Bitcoin for, I don't know, 120 bucks, whatever it was. You know, it was all-time high, you know? And so we've all made those kinds of mistakes in the crypto space. And so then I thought in 2021, September 1st, it's been 1 year and about 8 days since I got into NFTs. And I started creating AI art, and I started working, you know, using all my 20 years of IT experience to create systems to do AI differently than everyone else. And so in May of this year, May 25th, I released Goblin AI, and in the last 3 months, we have been fairly successful. We have 1,300 ETH in the last 3 months, just in secondary trading volume. And for me, you know, being a one-man team, I do have mods, so I want to shout out to them. I think it's really important that when someone creates a project, if they're very genuine, if they, and I'm going to talk about this more in the questions in the follow-up. If you're genuine, if you show people who you are, if you're honest, if you're transparent, it's going to bring the result that you need for your project to grow. So that's kind of the path that I'm leading and the path that I'm doing now. And, you know, we'll talk more about that. But I'm Robotic AI. Nice to meet everybody.
Nice mask. Okay. We like it. We like that it blinks at us.
It's a little hard to. It's a little hard to
freaking me
speak.
out.
So I'm like trying to hold it right.
Solola.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Wait, is it on? Double check.
No, I can't.
I didn't check all the mics. I was selfish and only checked my own.
Hello, everyone. All right. So I'm Sulola. I love to be here with all of you. Thank you so much. Lauren, you are the hostess.
I'm her biggest fan, y'all.
Hostess with the mostest. Can we just give it up for her really quick? Oh my goodness. So I am Sulola, and I have been working in technology for 11 years now, and all different functions. I just love technology. Blockchain technology is just something that just gets me going. So 2 years ago, I quit Google, and I pursued my passion to just travel. And I have been trading and investing full-time and absolutely love it. And so I am in Web3 also. I do a lot of strategic advisory for artists and brands and creators who want to get into NFT, so I love onboarding. I'm really passionate about security because that's one of the biggest blocks for people just to feel safe and know that their assets are secure and know how to navigate the space. And so that's something I'm really passionate about. I'm on Twitter Spaces a lot.
She's always like, guys, please be safe. Please stop. Can you guys stop?
Yes, exactly. Get a ledger. Don't share your seed phrase. So important. Just because, what was that? Give it to your mom, someone you trust. Yeah. So that's something I love. Just educating people, onboarding people, and I'm been really active with 2 projects advising. Tiger NFT, which sold out. I'm really excited about that, and they give back to at-risk animals, and also Stockianas, which is one of my dear friends. We are growing that to get more women educated about stocks, crypto, and NFTs and Web3 in general. So that's me.
My name is Melissa. I've been working with crypto and blockchain companies the last 2 years. I'm a business strategist working with a lot of founders from ideation to launch. I tokenize business models, trying to find some value creation mechanism to tokenize, basically, digitizing meaningful relationships. 2.5 years ago, I moved to Bali. Well, I came to Bali and then I got stuck, actually. And it was COVID, and my company in the UK, it was just built actually in 2019 August. It was building sustainable business models for startups. But only 6 months after, it was COVID, and I was in an island, like 10,000 kilometers away from where I called home the last time. It was strange. And then I was making more money by just holding crypto compared to all my efforts and work and everything. So I started organizing crypto and blockchain events, which now happen to be the Bali's biggest crypto and blockchain community with the co-founders, founders, C-levels, developers, S21. And I'm also building a community called Pollination Network, which is going to be our next project. It's a community of impact-driven blockchain entrepreneurs generally. And for me it was really important to have that community where you can talk about tech in Bali, basically. Because they told me, okay, like Bali is amazing, you're gonna have like everything, the weather is so good, cocktails are great, luxury is cheap. But you're maybe not going to have that tech community that you're used to, because my background is university. Like I was a research assistant for years until I lost my contract because of some political thing. I'm from Turkey, and that defined my interest in blockchain and crypto a lot, actually, because if you're coming from a background where governance, everything that's related to the state is problematic, most politically correct way to put it, then you try to find real solutions to real people's life. And that's why the community's name, S21, is for Satoshi 21 million digital, limited digital supply. And that's what we cared about. And I think that answers your initial question about how we can change that narrative. I think just by learning the technology and the motivation behind, because Bitcoin eventually solves real people's problem, and that creates the social and economic transformation. And to learn about the technology, to learn about what is the actual essence of any technology that we are using every day can transform that rhetoric. I think that has the biggest value to transform anything. And obviously, like, there's going to be like rock scams and everything. Like, that's okay. Like, it's all right. Like, yeah, your investment is going to go wrong and everything. Like, that's fine. I think it's not the essence of the problem. But how to fix it? It basically come with the application of the technology that is out there. And I think to use the technology in a way that it empowers people and create that culture around that and meaningfully trying to create value, also trying to make money, I think that's going to change the narrative. Most projects even like raising so much money or sometimes doing good in will projects, but eventually they don't even use, for instance, a multi-signature wallet. And the technology is there for us to implement, to defend us from our temptation, our human temptation, to fix us and not to rely on each other to use it. So if we use it well so far, I think that's going to save us to a good extent. So yeah, that's why the community we've been building, it's basically on that rhetoric, like using the technology, understanding the concepts associated with that and all, yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, Melissa, because I feel like there's a lot like about the crypto culture and the NFT culture in particular. It's like you never really know if you're talking to a grown businesswoman or if the person behind that PFP is a 14-year-old with zero business knowledge, right? So all of a sudden we're out here doing business with like little kids. You know, there'll be like a 10-year-old that'll hop on our Twitter spaces and talk, right? So I think that there's a lot to be said about, you know, sustainability and creating business models to help onboarding. I want to get to Noe and rope him into this conversation, so I'll let you introduce yourself, and then I have a couple more questions for you guys.
My name is Noe Jose, and literally Noe, last name Jose, Jose. And so a little bit about me. I'm from New York. My parents are from the Dominican Republic. And my dad died when I was 1. And it was pretty much my mom and I. And I just saw my mom struggle. Like, they had some businesses, and then when my father passed, it was extremely difficult for my mom to deal with, like, the management of business. And lifestyle changed, and fast forward to about 12, 13 years old, I was asking my mom, like, how do I get into business? How can I support her? And I used to go around different doctor offices raffling shoes, 9 West shoes, and people will pay like $2 per number, and then we would choose the winner at the end of the week. And that was like my introduction to making money, right? And then I went to high school. I started a mobile food business, which was selling sandwiches, soda, candy, juice, which was stuff that wasn't in our school. And I started making about $300 a day. And I did it for 2 years, saved that money. I was like the most popular kid in school. I was like, you know, the whole 9 yard. And then I went off to college to play baseball. And I knew, like, I didn't want to be an athlete, really, because there was so much racism in Pennsylvania. I was, like, the only kid of color, and it wasn't, like, the game that I knew what to play. So I decided to tap back into my business mind. And I went back to New York, enrolled in City College in New York, and studied economics and advertising. And I got scouted by Spark 44 to work with Range Rover, and that was, like, my first introduction into the advertisement world. And I deployed the Range Rover Velar 2018. We won a Webby Award for that. So that was like my way of like getting into the industry. Then I went on to work with Soho House, Atlantic Records, Rock Nation, managing artists like Young Paris, Messia, doing tours around the world. I toured the world 3 times. So that was like me saving money, kind of like getting into it. And then I started helping the artists make money by producing products. Because it's all about a sale, right? It's like, how are you making revenue for people, your product, your business? And I got really good at that, from analyzing data and seeing what the audience wants and how to sell something to them. But it was always in like with a soul, right? Like, how does your product identify with your audience, and how is it real? And that was like the success of what, you know, I did and what we did. It was like really speaking the truth to the people we wanted to speak to. And, you know, I got into blockchain 2016. My friend told me about Litecoin and Pi. And he told me that, hey, like, you buy these coins and you hold it, and then in the future you'll make some money. But me, I was so fast-paced that I was like, how do I produce the coins? And I don't know if anyone knows Butterfly Labs, the Bitcoin mining machine back in the day. So I bought a few of those machines with the money I had saved, and that's how I started mining Bitcoin. And yeah, then that was pretty much my introduction to blockchain. After that, I started realizing, like, how do I make a project? How do I, you know, but then the ICO boom, you know, I didn't want to really get into it. So I kind of just been on the sidelines figuring it out. But I also knew how to build community. So I helped Danny Cole with Welcome Creatures sell out his first NFT drop 2 years ago. Shaq put the NFT on his Twitter icon, and et cetera, et cetera. So now we still do events around New York City. But yeah, that's basically a little bit introduction of me. And to touch on that question, I think it's just authenticity. Like, how can you become the realest possible? Like, people here that were up here already mentioned, like, you need to be able to speak to people, right? I feel like everyone's creating a project and everyone is like trying to make a sale, and it's a fight for attention. And there's not enough educating of like, what is the utility, like real utilities. People are kind of like hiding an NFT drop behind a membership-based business, which doesn't necessarily need blockchain technology for. And, you know, most people that are getting into it don't really understand the technology. And that's the challenge that we face, is most people are getting fooled into buying into projects because they don't really understand what the real possibilities are, right? Like, and one of the things that I want to say is, like, once we can bring the utility to businesses, then we can get more adoption. Because businesses need, like, you can't even pay with crypto in places here in Bali and even all over the world. There's like not even a POS system that takes it. So it's like, what company, why don't we focus on that instead of like trying to drop coins and drop, there's no collective mindset, but like everything is siloed right now in the community. Everyone has a space, everyone has a project, everyone has a business, and there isn't like a central, which kind of goes against blockchain, right? Like having a centralized...
Well, it's very cash grabby right now. It's like the opportunity is there, the money is there, right? So it's that instant gratification that people opt for as opposed to doing the hard work of mainstream adoption. And I think we're seeing that a lot. It's kind of just that quick cash grab. And so, you know, that's something else I wanted to ask you guys about was, you know, how can we set, you know, expectations as a community for what kind of projects we should be bringing to light, right? Like what kind of projects we should be supporting. Because whenever you talk about standards for Web3, like ethical standards, freaks people out, right? Because we're all here for decentralization. Like none of us want, you know, someone telling everybody else what to do. But I think that there is something to be said for community coming together and deciding what is acceptable and what isn't. And that could potentially, you know, bring us to a point where at least the environment is safe enough to be able to innovate and to be able to create, and people won't be scared away from our space. So that's another question that I have for you guys is, do you think that there is some sort of, not necessarily standards, but what will it take for community to begin to have this change of perspective from we're just here for the cash grab, we're just here for, you know, it's almost like whatever influencer gets to the punch first, right? Everyone else gets dumped on. How do we begin to incentivize the community to hold each other to higher standards?
What's up, guys? So, one of the things that I've learned in the past 3 months is there's two different kinds of hype out there. There's shillers and people that you can pay to talk about your project or shill it for a month. And what ends up happening is you have what are called pump and dumps. And then everyone who bought in is left holding the bag because they had an artificial hype. It wasn't real. And so one of the things that I've been doing the last 3 months, when I released my project on May 25th, I wasn't ready. I basically created a sample of the work that I could do, and people immediately asked me within 24 hours, how can I mint this? And so I made a contract and it minted out like in 5 minutes. And I had to tell my community, like, you guys minted out my project and I didn't think that this would happen. Now you guys have to wait for the art. And so I got a lot of FUD because of that. I had my naysayers, I had people who called me a liar, they called me a rug puller, but none of that stopped my truth and the fact that I was gonna finish this project no matter what. And so I said all that to say this. I've experienced a lot of hype in Goblin AI and in Robotico AI, and it's all been organic. It's been because I've been transparent. It's been because I've been telling people exactly what I'm doing and why, and I'm trying to under-promise and over-deliver. And so I think when you're building a community, if you want to pump your community, there's ways to do that artificially. And so I think that we need to educate people in understanding that sometimes a fast, quick buck isn't the way to grow your project. You're much better off going the organic route. And so I've been going the organic route, and my community is slowly but surely growing. The paper hands, people who wanted a quick buck, they have left my project because to them, Robotico is slow. You know, he's not growing the project to 10K ETH or 20K ETH, you know, in 1 month or in 2 months, like some of these projects are doing. A lot of them, they got lucky, it was organic. A lot of them, it was artificial. And so I think if people focus on being true to themselves and being very transparent and just offering them your best work, it can bring the result of organic, real hype and growth in your community. So, you know, to me, if there's anything that you can learn from what I've done in the last 3 months is don't pump and dump, don't make promises that you can't keep, and make sure that you try to grow your community as organically as possible.
Yeah, I love what you said about patience. Like, that is something that we don't really have in Web3. We need more of that. We need more of that. It's a very fast-paced industry, but we need to slow down 100%. And I feel weird staring at your eyes. I just feel strange. I'm like trying to look deep into your soul, and you're not letting me. So it's really hurting me inside. And guys, I want to talk more to these folks up here, but we are plumb out of time. So I definitely want you guys to stay tuned with us, because this week and next week, we're also going to be hosting events in the metaverse. And hopefully if there's anyone that you feel like you haven't heard, you know, their expertise enough on this throughout this entire day, because we have had limited time, we're going to be doing workshops and all sorts of cool like meditation, wellness stuff in the metaverse. So we'll have more time to connect. But I want to wrap this up. I'm going to let these panelists go back to their seats. And guys, this has been such an incredible day just of expertise, of reminding ourselves of what is important, of what our values are. And I'm very, very thankful. And I just want to thank all the people that are making this possible right now at Superlative. They've been working tirelessly to set up all the screens. Thank you guys so much for making this possible for us. And like our sound guys are incredible. Our whole video team is incredible. We've been able to put this in the metaverse. This whole experience has been in the metaverse, like in a whole theater. So no matter where people have been in the world, they've been able to tune into this, which makes me really, really happy. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you all to the audience for bearing with us all day. This was definitely a long day. We are going to be going to a Balinese cultural dance experience for those of you who actually paid for tickets to be here. If you got the free ticket, sorry. You're not included. But if you want to be, come talk to me. Maybe we can get you in. But yeah, thank you guys, and I hope you all enjoy your evening.
Shout out to Lauren. You did an amazing job. Thank you guys for being here. If you haven't taken a look at the beautiful artwork and the music NFTs that we have of our roster, please do. If you have a digital display of yourself, take a picture in front of it, tag Superlative, tag SOULRICH, and yeah, thank you.
We good, we out.
I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions have an echo in so much space. And when you're out there without care, yeah, I was out of touch. But it wasn't because I didn't know enough. I just knew too much.
Where the influencers at? SOULRICH ambassadors. Where's the SOULRICH ambassadors? Can we get a picture to front? SOULRICH ambassadors. Where's the speakers? Taro. Moonsun. Where's Reem? Reem.
Committee girls. Committee girls. All of the supermodels in the back. Supermodel. Reem. Reem. Reem is sleeping in the car. Committee girl. Where's Clyde? Where's Clyde though? Clyde? Clyde. Where's Callie? Where's Callie? Dr. M. Dr. M, please. 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 Everybody. We need Callie is here.
I'm losing it.
There he is. Look. Uni. Here's Sagelina. This music is getting me ready for the party tonight. None of my blockchain Bali people, do not leave. Do not leave. Get in here. Get in here. Fernando. Everybody get in. Everybody get in. I'm losing it. Salola. 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 Blake. Blake, get in here. We're good. Emma Cote to the front. Quiet here. Is everybody here? Ryan Thomas to the stage. Ryan Thomas, celebrity. Elijah to the stage. Elijah. Elijah.
On 3, we're gonna say save Web3. You ready? You ready? You ready? You know what your mouth says when you go SOULRICH? We need to go say Web3 with T. 1, 2, 3. Sage, man, we didn't say SOULRICH, so let's do this one more time and do a SOULRICH for Sage and Lena. 1, 2, 3.
Visualize it. I'll give it something to do. Coach, coach, wherever we go. Visualize it. I'll give it something to do. Get a wildfire burning. Visualize it. I'll give it something to do. Ace high and going all in. Visualize it. I'll give it something to do. Spread it like peanut butter jelly. Do it like I owe you some money. Spread it like peanut butter jelly. Do it like I owe you some money. Money, 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 money. Spread it like. Spread it like.